So this is what the photo looked like before, and then just like in 2 seconds, it's edited. Hiya beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Segen Misghina, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my Instagram photos in less than 5 minutes. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit the photos in Lightroom. Lightroom is a free app that you can download straight to your phone. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit photos that look like this to this. And at the end of today's video, make sure you guys check out the description box because I left all of the editing steps in the description box below for you guys. So if you guys want to make life a lot easier with editing photos, especially for Instagram, continue watching. A bit of a disclaimer, the photos that I take are straight from my iPhone. I like to use the back camera. I've mentioned this in previous videos. If you guys haven't watched my video on how I take Instagram photos by myself, I'll leave a link right over here and in the description box below. But I like to use the back camera. I do not like to use the selfie camera because it doesn't have as great a quality. And we can edit together because I'm going to be showing you guys the step-by-step on how I edit the photos. So make sure to download the Lightroom app. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Before we get started, you already know I have to give a major shout out to the following people right over here. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot. If you want a shout out like them, all you have to do is click the notification bell. Let me know that you're a new subscriber in the comment section down below, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. Lately, if you guys go on my Instagram, I've been loving kind of like the clean, bright, white and black kind of theme of my Instagram feed. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram just yet, make sure you guys follow me on there as well. But that's generally kind of like the theme that I'm liking. I'm sure my taste is gonna change over time, but right now I'm really liking the black and white kind of like bright, airy kind of look to my feed right now. So this is the photo that we're gonna be editing. Now, I'm not a fan of how dull, brown and like meh this photo looks, so we're going to kind of play around with the colors of the stairwell and the walls to make it look nice and bright. So I'm gonna go to the light setting right over here. Okay, you can do auto, but I kind of don't like how auto kind of just thinks I want the photo, so I try to manipulate it the best way that I can. So the options that you have here are exposure, contrast, highlight, shadow, whites, and blacks. So we're gonna play around with those. Super easy. Don't feel overwhelmed if you're watching this and think, oh my god, no, I can't do this. You can, trust me. Okay, so first off, exposure is going to kind of like brighten up our photos. Now this is too bright for me, obviously, because although I want the walls white and bright, I don't want it to look like overexposed, like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring that down to like, let's see, I'm gonna bring that to a 20. I can bring it to like 18, that's fine. So it brightens it up just a little bit for us. But the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna play with contrast. So I wanna bring down the contrast to about 50, negative 50. If I bring the contrast too high, it's going to like contrast the colors that I don't want and kind of like make that more bold, and I don't want that because, as you can see, once I bring up the contrast, it's making the browns more brown in the stairwell, and I don't like that at all. So I'm gonna bring that down to 50. Okay. And then for highlights, so if you guys can see, you guys can always like play around with this, but you guys can see if I bring the highlights too high, it's kind of not giving me what I want. But if I bring it down, it's kind of giving me the effect that I'm looking for. Okay, so I brought that down to negative 40. Okay, so for shadows, as you can see, shadows will, once you bring it up and down, it will kind of like create more shadows, make it really dark, or brighten it up as well. So for shadows, I'm gonna leave it at positive 30. Okay, so for whites, again, because the theme that I like is kind of bright, white, airy, and kind of like monochromatic like look, or at least that's what I'm trying to achieve, I'm going to bring up the whites to, let's say about 50. Okay. Okay, let's see how we're doing so far. So far, so good. Okay. The thing is, I really like the black feature only because of the outfits that I've been wearing lately. They have been black and white. So I like kind of making the blacks pop a lot more. Like my hair is black, my mascara is black, my eyebrows are black and stuff like that. So I kind of want to highlight those features a lot more. So I'm going to bring down, you see how it brings, okay, we don't want it all the way down, but I'm gonna bring that to like a 65, let's say. So do you see how it already got darker? Because you can tell like the jumpsuit that I'm wearing right now, it has that like gray, almost like a charcoal gray, and I know that's not how it looks like in real life. So I'm gonna bring that down because that jumpsuit is black. And that's another thing that you want to make sure you do, especially if you are trying to showcase like clothes and stuff like that, like your outfit. You kind of want to make it as true to like real life as possible. So I'm good with the lighting setting. So if we see the before and after, so we brightened it up a little bit, but we still have like this weird staircase that looks really brown and like ugh for us, right? So I'm gonna go over to the color option right over here, and then we have temperature, tint, vibrance, and saturation. So this is what we're gonna play with a little bit more. So temperature, if you want something a little bit more cooler, you can bring it down. If you want something a little bit more warmer, you can bring it up. Now, obviously we're not gonna do like both extremes. We're gonna try to find a balance. So I'm gonna bring it down to about -9 is good. So this helps because the picture itself is super warm, and I'm not trying to have like a super warm color because again, I kind of want the whites to come out a little bit more. So I'm actually gonna bring that down. Okay, fine, a -7. Okay. The staircase again is not giving me what I want yet, but it's much better than how it looked like before, because before it looked like this. So another thing when it comes to Lightroom, if you want to see how the photo looks like before, all you have to do is press on the photo and it'll show you what it looked like before you did any editing. So for the tint, I'm gonna leave it as is, but the tint is like, if you kind of wanna, I guess you can bring it up, but I'm gonna leave it at 0. So a vibrance, if I kind of want to make the colors pop a little bit more, I can bring that up. And then saturation, I'm actually going to bring down the saturation. So it gives me that cool effect. Now, this is something that I didn't know about Lightroom because I would try to edit in Lightroom and then I get so frustrated because I was so overwhelmed that I'd like go away. But where it says mix right up here, it actually helps with manipulating the colors even more. When it comes to colors, I like to work with red, orange, yellow, and blues. I kind of leave the greens, the purple, and the pink kind of like, I don't know, I kind of don't work with them, or I haven't had to yet, but the reds, the orange, the yellow, and the blues are always colors that I always have to like manipulate in some way. So for each color, you have the hue, saturation, and luminance setting. So I'm going to kind of work with all 3. So for the red, I'm gonna bring it up to about positive 16. For saturation, I'm gonna bring it up to 25. And for the luminance, I'm going to bring it down to -30. Okay. I'm gonna move down to orange. So for the hue, I'm gonna leave as is. For the saturation, I'm gonna bring that up to about positive 5. And for the luminance, I'm going to bring that up to about a 10. So far, so good. But as you guys can see, the staircase is still annoying me. So in the yellow settings, so for the saturation, I'm actually gonna bring it down to -100. Now you can see that dull, like, I honestly don't even know what to call it, but whatever it looked like before like this no longer looks like that. It looks nice and crisp. It's giving me the white gray balance and not like the white with brown. I'm gonna bring up the luminance to about 15. And you guys see, like, I think that this is the hidden treasure when it comes to Lightroom editing. It's knowing that you have the mix option and you could, you know, just do a little bit more color editing that will make it like just so much more better. Like I mentioned, I like to work with the blues as well sometimes. So I'm gonna go over to turquoise, this turquoise color, and I'm going to bring down saturation to about -15. And then the luminance, I'm going to bring up to about 50. Okay, wow. I don't know if you guys can tell, but oh my God, look at the before, the after. It's just so much better. And then lastly, the blue, I'm gonna bring down the saturation to about -60. And then the luminance, I'm just gonna bring up to 50. And then boom, we're done. Isn't that awesome? Another thing that I like to do is go over to details. And I like to sharpen up the image just a little bit more. When you upload onto Instagram, Instagram like brings down the quality a little bit, and it really frustrates me because like you spend so much time editing, you spend so much time taking these photos, and I don't like it when the quality goes down. I like to make sure these pictures are nice and crisp. So that's what I like to do sometimes. And I also like to make sure I sharpen the image when I upload it onto Instagram just a little bit. So I like to sharpen it about to, I don't know, like 20 is fine. And then there we go, that's our photo. So it's really those three key areas when it comes to Lightroom. It's lighting, color, and details. And details are super easy because you just have to sharpen up the image. The only thing with color is you might have to always change it depending on, you know, the picture that you're taking, depending on the clothes that you're wearing and things like that, depending on what you want to highlight. Like, say for instance, if I had like a photo with plants in the background and stuff like that, I might want to go to mix and make sure I have the greens nice and set. That way the plant in the background pops up a little bit more. And then the first thing that we looked at was pretty much the basics when it comes to photo editing: exposure, contrast, highlight, shadows, blacks and whites, and things like that. Now, the one thing I really love about Lightroom is you can copy the settings that you just did. Like, copy all the editing settings that you just did and paste it to an entirely different photo, which I think is absolutely genius. It's been also cutting down the time it takes to edit a photo. So I'm going to highlight this, copy, make sure I have that checked. Okay, so this photo, although I love it, it was captured in the same settings. Like, the staircase is now in front of me, and I just used one of the walls to take this photo. Now, since I edited the last photo, all I have to do is go to the three dots in the top right hand corner right over here, paste, and then boom. Easy. That's the feature that I really, really love in Lightroom, because you can save your presets, which is really good. So this is what the photo looked like before, and then just like in 2 seconds, it's edited. It was a pain to kind of get into practice with like editing the colors and stuff like that. And if you want, like, you can always purchase a preset. I just haven't seen a preset that I like, because I find that most of them that I've come across keep washing out like my skin tone, and I don't like that. So I want to make sure my skin is highlighted and is true to color. But if you want to see the entire kind of editing that I did for this particular photo and apply it to your photos, I'll leave that all in the description box below for you guys. So make sure you guys check that out. That's how I edit my photos. And like I said, once I figured out how I like the colors and how they look, I just literally copy and paste it to other photos. And if you guys are ever wondering how Instagram pages always have like a cohesive look or like a nice theme to them, more often than not, they're using a preset because it is super easy to apply and edit all of your photos. I can't emphasize that enough. So this was a big deal for me, to say the least, because I found that Lightroom was a bit overwhelming because of the amount of features it has. But once you figure out like what you want Lightroom to do for you, you can save your presets, and like I showed you, you can always copy and paste to multiple photos, and then you end up editing photos in less than 5 minutes. Literally. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you guys want a shout out on my next video, all you have to do is click the notification bell. Let me know that you're a new subscriber in the comment section down below, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.